Welcome everybody. I'm going to be doing a quick video here on actually building a wing inside CompuFoil. And this is for a buddy of mine. He has me build probably a dozen wings a year for him. He experiments with everything from UAVs to gliders. Basically really long aspect wings is what I always build for him. So this one's each wing panel, or the left wing that I'm going to draw here, is 96 inches long. So what I'm going to start with here is I've got a bunch of notes that he has already sent me that I've kind of like formulated into a piece of paper, just doing a sketch of a plan view of a wing. He already sent me basically what he wanted his airfoil to be, so I already designed the airfoil for him. So what I'm going to jump in here is hit generate rib, and by going with my notes, I know it's going to be 96 inches in length. I know that the spacing is every 4 inches for a rib. I know that he does not want any dihedral in this. He said he's going to work that out himself. The leading edge sweep, he wanted 2 degrees. The inboard chord of the wing, he wanted 12 inches. The outboard, he wanted 4 inches. And the airfoil already designed for him is right here, and you'll see what that looks like when we look at it in kind of a section. And that, I think, is everything I needed to put in right there. So let's look and see what that looks like. Yep, that's it. So right now we just have a rough airfoil. We don't have the leading edge really designed yet, the trailing edge. We definitely don't have any spars. So what I'm going to do next is go with the building tabs. Now, one of the things you've got to think about on building tabs, if you got ailerons and you've got your building tabs here, you just need to be conscious of where your ailerons are going to be. So I'm going to definitely put the standard ones here. Let's go ahead and apply that so you can see what it's going to look like. So if you notice, I've got a building tab on the far right hand side here, which is at the very trailing edge. So if I had an aileron here, you'd have to build your whole wing before you cut out the aileron. But what I'm going to do is offset it, and I just forgot which way I do that. Hang on a minute. Yep, that's it. So I'm going to bring it in about 2 inches. Okay, so right now I've got the aileron hanging off out there. I might need to adjust this once I put the rear spar in. I do draw it with 2 sets of spars. The main spars that will have shear webs that makes the wing hold together. But I do for reference put a rear spar, and that reference is only for me drawing in CAD. That's for me to know where my aileron line is going to be. So I'm going to hit OK right now for the building tabs. So we look in plan view. That's what this wing looks like, and it looks pretty much like a glider wing. I think this is a UAV wing though, but I'm not. I don't remember. So go back to the template. So the next thing we're going to do is the front spar, and I'm going to go up here and hit spars, and I believe I want to do snap it with the reference line. We'll find out if I'm right. Little bitty wings, so it's going to be little bitty spars, and by the time you get to the tip of this, it's going to be a tapered spar. It's going to be a 1/4 inch probably won't work. We'll find out though. I'm just guessing. I've done a lot of wings in this, everybody. So hit apply, and let's roll down to the wingtip, and they're almost touching, so yep, this works. Okay, so now we need to put in the rear spar. Keep in mind, I'm only using this rear spar as a reference. So let me find the rear spar note. So I'm going to reference the trailing edge. I want to track the top and bottom surface. I think the offset I want is going to be about 1.5 inches, and that's from the trailing edge. And so let's just apply this and see what I get. Yeah, that's not far enough. So I'm guessing I need to come in about 2.5. Yeah, now if you look at the right hand side here, I need to cut this out so I have an aileron there, and it's almost at my building tab. So let's look at this from plan view for a minute. Yeah, see, that's way too far in. So let's go back to, let's say 1.9. And that would be a big old aileron. Let's go 1.5. That's probably going to be good enough. So let's hit apply. Let's go back into the section. And let's go to the wingtip and see what that really looks like at the wingtip. Yeah, that's a good enough aileron. So, okay, so I'm just going to use that. Now that looks like a mess right there, but it doesn't matter because we're going to, you know, if I wanted to clean that up a little bit, I might be able to do the thickness at 1.25 and it might just make it look better. But it won't down at the wingtip because the wing, yeah, that works. Okay, so I'm just using this as a reference. You'll understand once I export this into a DXF why I'm doing this, okay? So hit OK there. I'm going to look at this one more time. Yeah, that looks about right. Go back in the template. And what do I want to do now? I need to do the joiner tube because he's going to have a carbon fiber. He told me a 1/4 inch joiner tube. So I'm going to go up to holes. I'm going to say this is a joiner tube. It is going to be snapping with the alignment bar. Excuse me. Let's see. Holes go to full spread. Stops at rib 8. It's going to be 0.25 for the leading edge. Well, that's the diameter of the hole. The hole location offset, let's see, this wing is about 3.5, is about 3.6 is where that spar is. If you look up at the top, you see a ruler. So I'm going to put in 3.6 and see if that's close. Hit apply to group, and actually that spar hit perfect. Perfect. Yeah, holy cow. Yep. And the spar comes out to the 8th rib. You can see that blue right there. It goes all the way out to the 8th rib right there. And hang on a minute. I think I need to tell it to track the bottom there. Hang on a minute. Apply to group. Yep, it's perfectly straight now. Okay, so that is the alignment. The joiner tube. Whoops, it dropped it. What did I just do? Hang on, let me go back into there. I think when I told you to track the bottom, I forgot to lift it up. So that wing's about 1 inch thick. So hit apply to group. It needs to be a little bit higher than that, 0.6. Okay, so now I've got my alignment. My joiner tube. Okay, that's done. So you got to put my leading edge in. I'm going to go up here and click leading edge stock, and I believe he always works with about a 1/2 inch block of balsa wood up there. Well, he does because I designed it that way. So if you look to the left, you can see that's about a 1/2 inch square piece of balsa wood will make up that leading edge. And we want to put the lightning holes in. This is a really thin little wing, so I am guessing I'm going to put right under a 1/4 inch, and I want to put about an 1/8 inch radius. Let's see if that's right. Perfect. Bingo. Yep. Awesome. So, and then I want to do the trailing edge. And one of the things that's weird about this trailing edge, and I'm going to have to play with this a little bit, is he likes to use, he runs through his table saw balsa wood to create his trailing edge. He does not like, he likes a solid piece that he glasses. I think I'm going to have to move that rear spar a little bit to make this work. No, actually, it worked perfect. Holy cow. It worked absolutely perfect. So here on the right, he's going to, well, it's hard to explain this until I take it into CAD. But right now, everybody, I think we're ready to export this as a DXF. Let me look at my notes one last time. Yep. So what we're going to do now is up here, I can turn off some of this garbage I'm seeing, some of these extra lines that I don't need to export when I want the skin on there. Yeah. So that's what I want to export. So I hit generate DXF, and this is going to be the ribs. And let me find my little wing folder. So let's see down here. Yep, I got everything right. So I'm just going to call this wing ribs. And then I need to do a plan view so he has something to build off of. Generate DXF. I'm going to call this just the plan. Wing design plan. Wing plan. Hit generate. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go into the ribs and open it. So now that we're looking at this now in AutoCAD as a DXF. And if I go up here to my wingtip where the aileron would be, now look, I'm only going to do one rib right here, okay? But he needs a cutout right here of what he's going to do with his ailerons. And I will go back in and adjust the... if you notice, I brought the rear tab in enough to clear the aileron, but at the wingtip, the tab's in too far. But I would leave that. I'll just move that manually in AutoCAD. But let's go in here right now and look at this. So what I need to do right now is I'm going to get some of this garbage out of my way because he's going to laser cut all this anyway. But right here is this mess that I created of the rear spar. What I'm going to do is go in here, is strike that line there, and then I want to just get rid of all of this garbage. Because the way him and I build wings, he is going to have essentially, let me get rid of that. He is essentially going to have about an 1/8 inch piece of material right here as his trailing edge. He'll glue on a 1/8 inch trail. Actually, his 1/8 inch will go all the way to the skin, is the way he does it. And I'll measure that in a minute to make it an 1/8 inch. But right now I'm just doing some reference lines. So the laser cut part he wants is going to be this shape right here, but we've got to be able to put the radius in there for the aileron. Okay, and this is the thickness of it. So what we're going to do now is grab a 2-point circle, and I am going to drag the 2-point circle out until it touches or is damn close to it. Actually, I just made a mistake. I'm supposed to find the center of that, which is going to be right. Hang on, let me get rid of this reference line here. So I want to find the center of this. Actually, I do want to just drag this down to here for now, because I just want the center of the airfoil, the rear of the airfoil here, or the rib. Okay, now I want to grab that 2-point circle, drag it out until it basically is... Oh, I get what I'm doing wrong. Hang on. There we go. One thing I hate about doing videos is sometimes when I'm doing this, I have a lot of trial and error, and I hate to do that when I'm doing a video for you guys because I don't want to waste your time. That's close enough. So now what I'm going to do is get rid of that. Get rid of that. Whoops, not yet. I need a reference line. I'm going to grab that right here. I want to break that. From here to here. I want to break this from about here to here for now. Okay, now I want to essentially go from here to here to about here, hit enter. Then I want to break this from about here to here. And I'm going to go connect that back up to you there. I'm going to run this back to here. And now I've got my aileron. So basically what he's going to do is this would be his trailing edge stock right here. This would be the aileron part that he cuts out, that he laser cuts out, and then he'll skin this, and he'll taper this corner right here to give the radius. And actually, I probably will give him another reference line all the way out to here. And that way he'll know what that radius line would be. So hang on a minute. I'm going to design this a little differently real quick for him. Actually, I'm going to go through and redo this whole thing. So hang on a minute. I mean, when we're done here. So hit break. So I want to break this back to here. Bring this back over to about here. So what I'll probably end up doing is just running this line here up to there or something like that. And get rid of that. So his actually laser cut piece will be this shape down here. So that will be his laser cut piece, and then he will, like I just showed you all, when he goes to sand and round all of this, he'll round it like that right there. So this will be the rounded part when he builds it. Okay, whoops, I just did that wrong. So, so essentially, you see what I'm doing, but I'll do this for each of these outboard like 10 ribs, and then send him what will be this as a file, and then this as layers. I'm sorry, it's different layers. So I hope this makes sense. Sorry for getting a little wonky on the end there. But, and I'm just trying to fly through this in a video, everybody. Normally when I do this, you know, I've got some music playing, I'm relaxing. I can bash this wing out for him in less than an hour. Email him the DXFs, and then he'll put it into his laser, and he'll print everything out. Now, one thing about when you export this, you do have to go in here and clean this up for where the ribs are going to be. So I normally, when this is completely done, I will remove the skin from the drawing. I will remove all these marks here, all these reference lines from the drawing. And then I will open up this top line here for him. And I'll do the same on the bottom. But actually, since I need to move this build tab. It's probably going to end up being about here. And I'll connect those later. But then I need to break this, remove that. And I know he likes each of these ribs to be on a different layer. So, but basically this is the piece right here that he will end up laser cutting. And if you're still watching this and you haven't fallen asleep, I appreciate it. But some of you that's been wanting to use this software has really been begging me to show how to do a wing. And actually, I want to get rid of that. So this part right here is ultimately what he's going to laser cut. Okay, so for all those people that think, well, and it would be this piece right here too. Now, if you ask why I'm doing this so many different ways here, is because I've got so many snaps turned on right now. I don't want to turn them all on off. So ultimately this is what he would laser cut. And I'll clean this up because there's still some other lines and stuff in here that aren't needed that drives him nuts. But this would be one rib. So to design a wing, I mean, it takes a couple of hours. I mean, if there's going to be a lot of like leading edge slats or flaps or spoilers, you can spend days designing a wing. But this is ultimately the piece that he gets for the wing tip. Okay, so I hope that makes sense, everybody. I know this became a long video. I didn't want it to become that long. But for some reason, every time I do an instructional video, they get long. One thing you might do here for the person that you're drawing this for is help them understand where the pivot point of that aileron might ultimately be. So you might put the little circle in there so they understand where their hinge line would be. And normally I won't erase all the other lines. I'll just turn off those layers. But I'm just trying to do a quick and dirty video. Everybody have an awesome day. Rock on. And I'll see you the next time I do a video. Be safe, everybody. Bye-bye.